Spirit.
Amen. See. There's this story about this. There's this man who died. Actually, he had a vision, right? He was talking to God. He was complaining about how hard his life was. God wasn't fair to him. And how hard his cross was. And God had given him a cross that was too much, for him to bear. It was too heavy. And so at night he goes to sleep and he dreams and he goes up to heaven and he gets up to the the gates of heaven, and Peter's there and he's like, oh, we heard your prayer about wanting a lighter cross, so I'm gonna take you and you can pick out a new cross. So he takes the guy and they go to this big field of different crosses where he can pick one. And he looks through them. There's big oak ones and there's nice polished ones and all these different kinds of crosses. And he finds this little cross made out of balsa wood, really light stuff. He's like, oh, this is it. This is the cross I'm gonna. So he goes and grabs that cross and picks that up. And Peter goes, that's the cross you already have. And so the lesson of the story is that we all have crosses to bear, and oftentimes the crosses of other people are far heavier than our own. And I think it's important to keep that in mind. When we're driving, sometimes when I'm driving around town, we run into, especially in New Jersey, wow, it's a different place. People act crazy on the roads, right? They get really angry, they get mad, or always honking at you. And sometimes it's easy to, get mad back at people. But sometimes you stop and think, man, what's going on in that person's life that makes them such a jerk or so impatient? And that really should be the way that we respond to people. When there's a story, and I'm not sure if this is Christian or if this is a Zen Buddhist story. I can't remember which one it is, but there's like 3 monks traveling on the way, and they all receive. Oh no, this is the first one. This is from St. John the Ladder. St. John the Ladder of Divine Descent. There's 3 monks that are traveling along, and they all receive the same insult, an offense. And the first one is angry and upset, but he bites his tongue, so he avoids doing or saying anything sinful. And then there's the next one who rejoices and thanks God that he has an opportunity to suffer because it will teach him how to be more virtuous, to learn how to be more long-suffering or patient. So it was a good opportunity. And then there's the third one who weeps and cries for the one who hit him because he's grieving over the state of that person's soul that caused him to do such a thing to him. And so there's sort of 3 degrees or levels of sort of how we respond to the sort of offenses or mistreatment that other people put on us. One is we simply don't return the favor, right, and sink to their level. We bite our tongue. The second one is we see it as an opportunity to somehow gain some sort of virtue out of the crappy thing that happened to us. And then the last thing is that we actually, when we receive offense, we don't give any thought to being offended. We only think of that other person and what is going on in their own soul that would cause them to do such a horrible thing. And that's love. And so it's important to recognize that other people are carrying crosses in their lives too. And we don't always have a good insight into how horrible some people's lives have been. How dark the place they're in is. Besides priests, maybe psychologists or counselors get a glimpse into this, but you get a glimpse into people's lives and the horrible things that have happened to people, and it's amazing. I'm amazed at this world every day that people just get up and go to work. I think that's amazing. The kind of weight and horrors that people have been through. It's amazing that this society even keeps functioning with how broken most people are. And I think it's important to keep that in mind. That for some people, getting up and just doing the routine things, given what they've gone through, is heroic. And it's easy that when we go through our day, to forget the conditions that other people are in and that we're all carrying a cross. And what we often do is someone else, because their situations in life is so heavy, they're going around mistreating other people. And so what do? What do we do to this person who has a cross that seems to be too heavy for them to bear? We come on and we just pile a little bit more weight on them as they're trying to carry that on. Right? That's what we do. Right? We do something. Maybe we get back at them, or we return the favor. We fight with them. Whatever it is, whatever we're doing. Right? And we sort of lean on that cross a little bit heavier. But what is the example we're given in the scriptures to do when someone else is carrying their cross? The example of Saint Simon of Cyrene. What does Saint Simon do when Christ is carrying his cross to Golgotha? What is he doing? He comes up and he helps him and he carries that cross, right? That's the appropriate thing to do. So when we see somebody, and this is hard to do, right? We have to not be reactionary people. We have to have enough self-control over our own thoughts and emotions that we have the wherewithal to sort of, in that moment, step back and think, man, why is this person acting like this to me? What's going on in their life? That's hard. You have to train yourself to do that, to be such a person that doesn't overreact to situations, that you have the clarity to sort of see, man, like someone does something to you and your first thought is this, what's going on in this person's life that makes them want to do that? Now, this often doesn't happen. The only times I think it happens commonly is if somebody way overreacts or way overreaches the situation, and so it's clear that they're sort of out of control, and then usually that will catch us off guard and we think, okay, this is a bit crazy, like what's going on with this person, right? But the more mundane, everyday sort of offenses, we don't do that with. We especially don't do it with our loved ones that we're close to, right? And so you have to train yourself to do that, to not be reactionary and to consider the other person's condition, not your own. This is the great challenge in Christianity that we're given, is to try to be selfless. It's really difficult, but we can do it. So when you think about the Feast of the Cross we have today, and we go back out into our week, let's think about the other people and the crosses that they're carrying, and how we can help them carry that burden. Whatever it is, maybe it's just giving the person a pass and letting them do that stupid thing that they're doing to us, okay? Whatever it is, and just taking it because we know maybe what they're going through. Or maybe they do that, or maybe we return someone else's harshness with kindness. Or maybe we take an opportunity to actually find out what's going on inside somebody else's life to see how we might be able to help. Or even as simple as just saying a prayer for them, or biting our tongue. Maybe we're there. Maybe maybe we're at the bottom rung, and that's all we can do. But it's important to remember that other people are carrying very heavy crosses. Sometimes crosses that would have crushed us. And so when you think about that, it gives you a little bit more respect for other people, and a little bit more patience, and a little bit more compassion when we remember that other people, we don't always know, we don't know what other people are going through or what they've been through. And if we did, we probably wouldn't react the way that we do to people. Lord Jesus Christ.